Okay, let's talk about AI. It feels like it's absolutely everywhere, right? And the money, oh man, the money is pouring in like you wouldn't believe. But here's the crazy part. What happens when the very people leading this revolution start pumping the brakes? Yeah, that's what we're digging into today.
So is this whole AI gold rush about to go bust? I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? We're in this absolute frenzy, this race to build the next biggest, baddest AI model. But some of the biggest names out there are starting to say, whoa, hold on a second, this can't last.
And yeah, that really gets to the core of it. We're not talking about a little bit of investment here and there. We're talking about billions, with a B, being thrown at AI companies all over the world. It's happening so fast that some people are worried it's getting, well, kind of reckless.
I mean, think about it. AI isn't some sci-fi thing anymore. It's in your phone, it's at your job, it's pretty much everywhere. And that has kicked off this insane competition between the big tech players. Everybody wants to be the king of the AI hill, and the expectations are just through the roof. It is a total frenzy out there. All right, so here's where it gets really interesting. The warnings, the hey, let's be careful messages, they aren't coming from the usual critics or the people on the sidelines. Nope, they're coming from the insiders, the ones right in the middle of it all.
And we're talking about the heavy hitters here. You've got Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, the folks who gave us ChatGPT, and then there's Mark Zuckerberg from Meta. Both of them are looking around at this whole scene and are starting to see some things that are making them, let's just say, a little nervous.
So Sam Altman's take is fascinating. He compares it to the dot-com boom back in the day. He's like, look, the technology itself, AI, it's the real deal, it's important, just like the internet was. But all the hype, the insane amounts of cash flying around, the promises of changing the world overnight, he thinks that part, that enthusiasm, has just gone way over the top.
And Mark Zuckerberg is right there with him. He's not screaming that the sky is falling, but he's saying this all feels familiar. He's seen this kind of economic euphoria before in history, and he knows what usually comes next. A pretty sharp, pretty painful reality check for the market.
Okay, so you hear that word bubble being thrown around by these guys. What does that actually mean when we're talking about tech? Let's get into it.
Basically, a tech bubble is when the hype for a new technology gets way, way ahead of the reality. You've got money and excitement just exploding, growing so much faster than the tech can actually keep up. So you get these companies valued at crazy, eye-watering amounts that make no sense. And sooner or later, pop, the bubble bursts.
The dot-com bubble is the perfect case study, right? Back in the late 90s, everyone was convinced the internet was going to change everything. And it did. But first, a tidal wave of cash just flooded into any company that had a .com at the end of its name. The problem was, most of them weren't making any money, so the market crashed hard. Now that didn't kill the internet, obviously, but it wiped out a ton of companies. The ones left standing, they were the ones with a real plan. Which brings us back to today. Is history repeating itself? Let's put the .com era and the AI boom right next to each other and see. And when you look at it like this, wow, the parallels are pretty striking. You've got a game-changing technology at the core. You've got that same euphoric mood and sky-high expectations. You've got a tsunami of investment. And you've got the exact same risk. Money pouring into companies that might not have a solid plan to actually be profitable. It's kind of hard to ignore how similar it all looks.
Now let's be super clear about one thing. This isn't about Altman or Zuckerberg saying AI is just a fad. Not at all. They believe in it. Their warning isn't about the end of the world for AI. It's more like a call to take a deep breath and grow in a smarter, more sustainable way.
So if the market does have a correction, what would that actually look like? Well, it probably wouldn't kill AI. I mean, the dot-com crash didn't kill the internet, right? What it would do is separate the wheat from the chaff. The companies built on nothing but hype would probably disappear. But the ones with real tech and a solid business model, they'd survive. And honestly, the whole industry might end up stronger and more stable because of it.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's pretty simple, really. The guys at the very top of the AI food chain are just saying, hey, let's maybe cool it with the blind optimism. They're not saying don't be excited. They're just saying, let's be excited, but also be realistic, be cautious.
And this isn't a new story. We've seen this movie before with other huge technologies. They burst onto the scene, there's a ton of hype, things get a little inflated, and then eventually things calm down and the technology finds its real, lasting place in the world. It's almost like a natural cycle. A little painful sometimes, but natural.
And that really leaves us with one big question to chew on. Sooner or later, this current frenzy is going to cool down, one way or another. And when the dust settles, who's going to be left standing? Which companies are the ones with the real vision, the real tech, and the right strategy to actually build the future of AI for the long haul?